In the previous lesson, we explored what motivates him. He protects, he provides, he problem solves, and he pleases. He does all of these things because he knows he was born to be a hero, and he's willing to accept emotional starvation in the process from a deeply felt sense of duty. In fact, he doesn't expect his needs to be met. He may not even be able to articulate those needs to anyone. He may not expect a return for his labor, but he definitely hopes for it. Quietly, secretly, he hopes his woman notices all he accomplishes, especially for her. A man may not say this out loud. In fact, he may not even consciously articulate it, not even to himself. But his efforts are not random. They are directional. They're aimed at one primary relational outcome. He wants to know that what he does matters and that he matters to his wife. And he wants to be wanted. A woman is frequently surprised if she hears that her man feels like he's simply not that important to her, that he doesn't believe he's very high on her list of priorities. In fact, he may feel like he's not even on her list. He may believe he's nothing more than a paycheck to her, something to be used. And he doesn't want sex in exchange for his paycheck. He honestly wants to feel emotionally connected to her, but he just can't figure out how to make it happen. There are so many ways a man tries to connect with a woman he loves. He dreads rejection as much as she does. So trying to connect requires a tremendous amount of courage, especially if he's been shot down a lot. However, each time he gets a yes, he's encouraged to keep going. So here are 5 ways she can say yes to him. Each of them meets one of his emotional needs as only she has the power to do as his wife. First, her attention. Although sex with his wife can make him feel loved, what he wants most is her attention. In fact, he's always needed a woman's attention, starting with his mom. Any woman who has a son knows this from experience. When he grew up and married, that desire for female attention shifted to his wife. How could she give him the attention he longs for? Well, she looks at him adoringly whenever he talks. She listens intently to what he has to say, because every time he speaks, he's sharing something about who he is, his thoughts, his beliefs, his hopes, his fears, his values. Men share far more than we realize, but they do it differently than women do. And if he believes she's interested, he'll keep talking. On the other hand, if she interrupts, interjects, or changes the subject to be about herself, he'll assume she's just not into what he's saying and he'll stop talking. Women do this far more often than they realize because it fits our female communication patterns. That is, it's how women talk to one another, which can make this one of the bigger challenges she must face. Instead, he longs for her to be a safe person for him. She doesn't evaluate what he says or compare him to herself or to another man. She never probes or asks questions unless she's clearly communicating that she wants to understand him more fully. And she never shares intimate details of their conversations with her mother or with her girlfriends. Second, her acceptance. Now, she doesn't have to pretend that he's perfect or that his gifts are perfect. When she accepts what he brings to her life, she's accepting him. He will always love to see her smile, and when he can still make her laugh, he feels like he just won the lottery. He wants to be her hero, to make her happy, if she'd only let him. He won't do it perfectly, so she'll need to let go of her tendency to correct him, to teach him, to give him advice. Those messages tell him he's not good enough, that he'll never be able to meet her standards, and that he'll never make her happy. And he'll give up at some point. Third, her affection. A man is so hungry for human touch, and he rarely gets that need met. A woman has a better shot at it because it's more socially acceptable for women to hug one another. But women do more than just hug. They actually hold one another. But after a certain age, a man is rarely held, unless he's having sex. Perhaps that's what makes sex so essential for a man's sense of well-being. So many men have told me this in private. She never touches me anymore. These men were not referring to sexual touch. They were talking about day-to-day, non-sexual, incidental touch, an amazingly powerful emotional connection for him. It's simple to do. For example, when dinner's ready, instead of hollering at him to come and eat, she can go to wherever he is, stand beside him, place her hand on his shoulder or arm, smile and softly say, "Dinner's ready," then turn and walk away quietly. Even if he doesn't move a muscle or say a word, or even come and eat, she can be sure her touch and soft voice registered in his brain. There's nothing more calming, reassuring, and affectionate than making physical contact with someone who loves him. Fourth, her appreciation. He wants his efforts to be acknowledged. When he works hard, fixes something, makes a decision, or steps in to help, he hopes she notices. Her heartfelt but simple thank you fuels his drive. Without it, he feels taken for granted, used. Fifth, her admiration. This need is way more important than a woman might believe, and it's something she probably doesn't think about giving to him nearly often enough. A man needs his wife's admiration. It's not an ego thing. It's a genuine emotional need. And this emotional need increases with his age. That is to say that a man in midlife needs to hear her admiration of him every single day. Many women don't understand this, saying things like, "Why should I have to tell him that I admire him? Shouldn't he just be the man he's supposed to be without me having to pump him up all the time?" Well, she would do well to remember that he works hard to be the man he's supposed to be. He's not asking for her admiration or expecting it. He's hoping for it, longing for it. And it's a simple yet priceless gift she alone has the power to give the man she loves.